Hello and welcome, members, to another edition of the Desert Mountain Podcast. My name is Kim Atkinson. I am joined by Todd Bohn, our Director of Agronomy. Hello, Todd.
Hello.
And I have John Lyberger over here, our Director of Golf, PGA Director of Golf.
Hello, Kim and Todd.
Patrick is over here as well today. He is going to help us give our members another look at that fly-through of each hole of the Cochise Golf Course and how it might look as a restored golf course. And last week we received these files from the golf course architect from the Nicholas Group and Chad Getz. Those drawings did wonders for us, and his narration of that was very helpful. But this, I think, gives a much more three-dimensional look at things. And since we put that out there, we got a lot of views on YouTube with that and some really great questions from our members who replied to us. I know you've been receiving some questions about the vote that's pending, so we're going to get through it. Before we do that, though, I did want to mention it is the time to vote right now. So those ballots did come out. You'll see in the Mountain Minute those instructions in case you haven't received your ballot, how to get access to it. It is posted to the website as well, so you can do that. We've got a lot of great content in there. And of course, the Restoring Cochise page, even on the website, we've created a special dedicated page that has all of this information. Maybe sometimes a little too much information, I think, right? I mean, we have no shortage of detail to share with our members about this.
You never can have too much information.
Okay. Well, that's why we're doing this. So let's get into maybe before we hit the hole by hole, what are some things that you're hearing out there, John, out on the range? I know you've got a lot of folks with questions.
I do. A couple questions that came up this week. One was, why make any changes at all? If we're going to do this, why not just do the irrigation, do the bunkers, do the greens, grass, tee boxes, and so forth? And, really, we have this opportunity. 35 years ago, Mr. Nicholas, built a golf course that's absolutely stood the test of time. But we have an opportunity, just like most great golf courses in this restoration period, to do some things that Mr. Nicholas wouldn't do today. Like he wouldn't have all those big, heavy mounds and so forth in today's architecture. They would be softer. They'd be able to be placed in areas where you would have that characteristic, but allow cart traffic to move in and out. Allow better flow of water, allow better maintenance practices. Giving the course the ability to live and breathe today and for the next 35 years is what the architect's looking at. Building some tee boxes that have more room on par threes, which is one of the things we're going to address. Building forward tees, the green tees, which we're going to address. These are all architectural changes. And these changes need to take place so that the members and their families and generations to come can all enjoy the golf course.
Right.
So you just can't put it back the way it is. It would be a disservice to the membership. It's just not designed that way.
A lot of the big clubs in the country too, you're talking Augusta, you're talking Marion, you're talking Oakmont, they're always making tweaks to their golf courses, to where they come across a situation that's maybe a rough playing characteristic for certain people or whatever, and they're always making tweaks to that to better the golf course, and that's a normal practice for a lot of places. We're just doing ours once every 30 years, and this is our opportunity to do that.
Absolutely, and we don't do it because it's Todd and I's design and idea. It's the architect. We had 18 informational sessions. We had numerous Ask Me sessions. We met with group golf leaders. We met, the architects come out and met with different groups. We had to meet with our women's group. And we took all that information over that period of time since last year, and we've taken the original plan and tweaked it and tweaked it and tweaked it and tweaked it all the way down to where it's the current plan today that the members are voting on.
Right.
Another question I got, well, why wouldn't you put two options out there for us to vote on? Well, why would you bifurcate the voting and have two different options? Because when you bring it all down, if you have two different options, now you're going to have some of the people happy that this passed and some of the people unhappy that this one didn't pass. I think when it's just much cleaner when you get down to a vote where you have one plan that everybody's bought into and said, please, vote on that. Another question. What happens if it doesn't pass? I mean, that's a dark time for the club. I got to tell you. I mean, we looked at some other options. I know we met as a senior staff the other day to try and just come up with some ideas and give some recommendations. And there aren't any real good recommendations. I mean, it really does. It'll set the club back years. It needs to pass. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. And I can guarantee the members it's going to be an awesome golf course when it's done. It's a great golf course now, but it's going to be even better when it's finished, and it's going to be better for many years to come, both from a functional standpoint and a playability standpoint, and ultimately an enjoyment standpoint.
Right. And I think obviously we're following a renegade issue, and that is a very real issue for us to face that was less than ideal, to say the very least. And that's why we're going to all these great lengths, and why we want to be as informative as possible and have these sessions and work with the architect to give us these flyovers. What this, I hope, demonstrates for everybody is to reassure them that golf course that they love so much with Cochise. I had one member reply back and say, I don't get it. I don't see any of the changes. Well, that's actually by design. There isn't a whole lot that you're going to see that's a whole lot different. So we took this directly from the architect's drawings. We asked Chad to produce this for us so that we could help provide some clarity and reassurance that the course that they love is the course that they're going to see, and we'll go through it today.
And I think one more real quick thing is I've been around and out and about, and even this morning, and I heard the whole trust factor, the whole we don't trust the team or the management or whatever. And I think a lot of that happens to come on other things other than Cochise that have been out there,
sure,
more so than Cochise. But I think it also goes back to the Renegade thing that neither myself nor John were a part of at Renegade, and a lot of our management team that's here. And I think that I have kid in meetings. I said I was going to walk in with a ball and chain around my ankle, and I might have said this before with Renegade written on the ball, because that's kind of what it feels like. And hopefully what we've done down there, and hopefully now it's raining today, but hopefully after the carts get off and everybody can get down there and see it, that they'll see that our works down there is really strong, and we did a nice job. My team did, the contractor that helped us do it. None of the people involved with this were a part of Renegade. The contractor's different, architect's different, John and I are different superintendent down there taking care of it. All of that. So I just want to stress that again. I know we've said that, but that continually comes up from people on that. And the trust factor comes back to, I can sit here and tell you how I am. Construction's in my wheelhouse, and since I'll be kind of the point person and I'm taking this on, I can only ask for people to, if you don't give me a chance to earn your trust, I don't know how we can earn it. And so I just ask for people, hopefully Renegade will build the trust, but I want to ask for people to give us the trust, and in my construction experience, and trust that you hired the right person to do this time. I know the Renegade thing lingers, but none of us were associated with that. And let us put this thing and show you like we want to do, like this flyover shows. It's very, very minimal, and I'm confident that everybody will be happy with it when we're done.
Todd, if I may add, a lot of people, when I talk about them to the members in the field about all those different points that you brought up, new team, new board, that trust factor issue, because that does come up in conversation. They go, really? I didn't know that. Oh, well, okay. And there's a lot of misinformation and so forth being floated around out there as well. But let's jump into that hole by hole and really kind of just, it's Cochise. It's Cochise.
And just remember, this vote is strictly Cochise. It has nothing to do with anything else.
That's right.
Oh, good point.
On the ballot, it is the Cochise course restoration. There's also board election happening, but they're two separate issues on the same ballot. So we wanted to make sure to mention that as well. So I think without further ado,
Voting's open now through April 7th.
Now through April 7th.
So it's
That's right.
very fluid.
It is very fluid. So very good. All right, Patrick, let's go through hole number 1, and I'll let you guys take it from here.
So we're starting here on hole number 1. The biggest change will be the expansion of the copper tee, which you don't see in this flyover because of the angle of the flyover, the camera. So it's obviously off to the right here. We're going to enlarge that by building a rock structure there in front and just building that tee as big as we can get it. The dimensions are unknown right now until we get out in the field and actually see what we can get. But we're going to be enlarging that because it's built for 100 people, not 2,000 people. And then as you move forward, you'll notice the red and white tee in front of you here. It's just going to get lowered slightly to increase the width of it. We heard from feedback from our sessions that it tends to be a little tight up there, so we're going to lower that tee down, widen it as much as we can, and just put it back to kind of like it was supposed to be. Over time with top dressing, it's built up. Then on the left side, you'll see the mounding starting to soften a little bit there just to increase access for golf carts coming through. The tree stays in the middle of the fairway. And then up on the left-hand side of the green, you'll notice there's one less bunker up there way up by the cart path because that bunker's kind of in no man's land, and we wanted to get rid of it. It really doesn't do anything for us. And then on a lot of the holes out here, you'll notice that we're incorporating a bailout or a fairway cut around the greens. This will allow the golfers to have a ability to play a variety of kind of shots, a putt, a chip, which will make it a little more player friendly up around the greens and provide people the opportunity to play different ways.
As we move on to number 2, the architect has pointed out that we want to have a par 3 on each 9 that plays a little longer and one that plays a little shorter. The suggestion with the punch bowl green here is that this hole plays just a little bit longer, moving the tees back about 10 yards or 1 club length from what you normally play. You can now see the bunkers on the right-hand side. The wet area in front of that green will be addressed as the drainage will be repaired. You'll be able to see that bunker in the back of the green, and it'll also be fixed so that the water does not drain off that hill and into that bunker, causing that bunker to flood.
Let's move on to number 3. As you'll see, we expanded some of the tees on the left-hand side here. The green tee, the red tee, you'll notice are formalized and bigger and expansive. We heard through numerous feedbacks that the bunker up on the left-hand side of the fairway was not desired by our membership, so we have removed that bunker. We will address grading slightly in this fairway a little bit to try to keep your ball from running over behind the trees on the right. We'll look to maybe trim those trees as well. You'll notice some work on some of the mounting. This is precious real estate right here to get carts out. This is a really highly trafficked area that we need to work on to increase our access for carts. And then really just the fairway cut around the green like we've talked about. And then the bunker on the right is just going to be a lot of our bunkers out here on the golf course over time of the sand buildup in the faces has made the bunkers feel like they're further away from the golf hole. So we'll just, fix that relationship and get them back to where they feel like they're closer to the greens.
Restore them back to their original location.
Yep.
Okay, as we start on number 4, par 5, you can now see those bunkers on the left, fairway bunkers. The hole does turn nicely to the left. As you can see, there's one bunker added up into the hillside in the approach area. It actually helps widen the fairway just a little bit and really frames that area for your layup shot, so you have a place to put your ball. For your third shot leading into this green, you can see that, as Todd mentioned earlier, we have the closely mown area around the green. The little mound behind the green has come down a little bit. It might not be that much in real life, but again, it's an animation, but it really allows the hole to play so much better than it currently does.
All right, moving on to number 5. This is one of the holes that I'm really excited for through this because that big bunker right in the middle of the fairway, you cannot see that right now. And now that you see it on this animation, that's just a little slight grading around it and getting the bunker edges back to where they normally were. The other big item here is the left fairway on the left side. You don't see that from the tee because of the vegetation in front. And so we want to open that up, get that visual, and also add a couple new bunkers there on the left-hand side that you saw to challenge our longer hitters on this hole. The preferred line is to be right of the hole, but the shortcut is the left side. So the strategy of the hole is you got to hit a good shot over there, and that's what those bunkers are for the better player. And then really the green just stays like it is, with bring back the fairway cut around the right-hand side like we've been talking about. And it's going to be a really awesome hole.
Okay, hole 6 doesn't change much. We trim up the tree on the left. We fix up the rock outcropping, clean that up a little bit. You can see that we have proper tees for each teeing location as well, so there's no combined tees. That bunker on the right actually gets put back to its original shape, so you have a shot out of that bunker onto that green, and the bunker left of the green will come up a little bit to its original location. The wet area in the back, which has poor drainage, will be repaired as well. And then the green that's to the left up on top will also be resurfaced and cored out, and a couple of those bunkers that exist today will just be reshaped back to their original location. There'll also be a walking path that goes up to number 7 for those members that play the lower green. They don't have to go around the back now of the upper green to get there. They can now go up through this new area leading to on the left side of 7 tees to get up there.
And I think our hope too there is that you'll be able to take a tempo walk through there too. So we're going to try to work to be able to take a tempo walk along with the walkers.
Absolutely. Push cart, tempo walk, anything that is going to be wide enough to get up to the top of 17.
We're here on number 7, which is an iconic hole here at Cochise. And back to what we talked about at the beginning with number 2 and number 7. The architect really felt very strongly that this hole should be played more as a shorter hole due to the green design being set up to accept more of a higher ball shot or ball flight, receiving a shot higher than currently what our members are hitting, which is a utility club or whatnot currently, which skips off the back of this green a lot. So by moving everybody up a tee, he really feels strongly that it'll be a lot better hole for all of our members to play. And it's really designed to be a more of the shorter hole on the front 9 at Cochise. The only other change we have is formalizing a green tee up on the left side and making a really nice drop area over there, just right of the cart path for those few times our members hit their balls in the water. Right, John?
That's a terrific hole. If I ever make a hole in one, I want to make it here. That's a great hole. Hole number 8. The architect had really spent a lot of time. He spent a lot of time with Todd and myself going over and talking about this hole. It's got some challenges to it that, for instance, that bunker that was put in for the Schwab Cup many years ago really isn't the right shape. Both the green and the red tees aren't necessarily in the right location. So as we move down this hole, you can see that each tee has its color, has its own spot. We have a formalized green tee, red tee that's now shifted down to the left-hand side to give a clean shot, to not have to take an angle over the corner of that bunker. The bunker gets pushed a little to the right, and it gets twisted just a little bit in terms of its shape to allow balls to travel down through the speed slot into the lower part of this fairway. Then as you reach the approach portion of the green, you'll see that the left side of this green, this bailout area, has been cleaned up. And the right side, there's a bunker dotted in there to the right that really allows, it's pushed back far enough. I've had some questions on this hole is, oh my goodness, you're putting a bunker in our landing area. That's where we play from. That bunker is actually pushed back into the green further than where most people would lay up. But what it does is it really allows a landform to be built behind that, so that steep area that goes off the right-hand side of that green where balls would collect down in that area, or it's difficult to walk up and down, is now built up a little bit, allows more access to the green, allows a shot that just misses on the right to be kicked back onto the green or land there without going down into that big swale.
And we'll also have fairway cut all the way around that green, which is going to be a huge improvement from what it is now.
So if you do go for it in 2, or you do hit your third shot over that green, you can now chip, pitch, putt out of that area.
Yep. All right, number 9. As we stated numerous times in our sessions, if you attended them, John and myself and the architect stood out on this hole and really watched a lot of golfers play this hole. And you'll notice a formal green tee on the right-hand side, but really the main focus on this hole was we saw so many people laying up to get over to a par 4 that we really challenged the architect, what can we do to make this hole a little more playable and accessible for our members? And he came up with the idea to slide this green forward about 30 feet and to lower it 3 to 4 feet, which is what's reflective in this animation. And one of the biggest changes on it, you'll notice, is the bailout area. The front area there in front now will be a lot more receptive area to be able to hit a chip shot off of. You don't have that wall of turf like you currently have now where it's severely uphill. And it'll be a little more welcoming of a shot and give our higher handicaps a chance to really have confidence that they can hit it over there and their ball will end up in some place other than a really steep hill with the ball above their feet or below their feet. And then also our lower handicaps, it's still going to be a very challenging hole. That second shot's not going to change for them from where they hit it from back there as much, and it'll be still a great golf hole, but it'll be a lot more friendlier for everybody.
Yeah, if I can add some color to that too, as a golfer at a higher level than some, I'll try to get my ball down there to the end of the fairway as far as I can, because I don't mind hitting a downhill lie to an uphill green, because I can garner enough speed with a lofted club to get the ball up in the air. But if you don't have the same ability or the same club head speed, you have to lay back to where it's a little bit flatter. When you go back to where it's a little bit flatter, now you've got a longer shot. When you have that longer shot in there without a bailout area, as you said, you hit right into that steep face. So I think this is a terrific design element. I think it's a great refinement to the Cochise Golf Course. And for those that have been touting that the green's moving because of a future renovation to the Cochise clubhouse, that is 100% false. I've heard it numerous times. It makes me angry every time I hear it, because really the architect had really kind of looked at this hole and thoughtfully created something that the members are going to really enjoy for the next 35 years.
One of the other benefits too, standing out in that fairway now, you're going to actually be able to see the whole green visually, whereas now you don't see any of it. So when your ball hits, you'll actually be able to see it, which will also help with your confidence of being able to hit the shot.
Still going to be a tough shot to get home in two.
It will be.
Yeah. All right. As we make the turn, please remember to stop by the Range House to get your hot dog and cold beer. So we head down number 10. Again, just the architects cleaning up those bunkers over on the left-hand side. The bare tee stays. I've had some questions about that. That does not move. All the tee boxes stay. We may even put in a new alternate tee box there. The bunkers on the right get pushed back just a little bit to handle today's technology. And then the approach area is exactly the same. The green will be restored to its original size. It's shrunk over time, as most of our greens have. But other than that, no real changes.
Moving on to hole number 11. The tees pretty well stay in place, just lower, widen where we can, being a par 3. We are adding a new white tee up on the right-hand side here that you'll see as we pass by. And then the other biggest change is getting rid of that bunker, that big bunker that's front left. That'll become a grass hollow now because that bunker really doesn't come into play. This is a great hole without it. And then through numerous feedback sessions, or one of our feedback sessions, we also are going to widen the cart path around on the left side of the green and the back side of the green. It's a dangerous spot for traffic when you're pulling off to play. And so we want to be able to have a safe spot to park and get people down to the green.
Hole 12, terrific par 5 risk reward. You can see the bunker on the left now that's currently blocked by the vegetation and the hillside. There is a new bunker to challenge the longest hitters down the left-hand side. It's going to help turn the hole a little bit. So for those that hit down the left-hand side and carry their ball to the middle and try to hit this green in 2, that bunker's in play there. And then as you approach the green, we have better access and egress to that cart path to try and keep from wearing the turf out. The bunker gets restored to its original size and location, and the green is also restored to its original design.
Number 13, one of the best views on the mountain from these tees. We'll be enlarging these back tees as much as we can once we get out there. These are heavily divoted tee boxes that we need some more real estate on. The left green stays like it is. No changes there, just putting back the green exactly like it is. And then the right green, we just wanted to differentiate these holes. We stood back there and the holes were kind of exact copies of each other, and we really wanted to have a differentiation. So we asked Chad how he would do that, and he added the two bunkers, dotted the two bunkers in there on the left. They are up in the hillside pretty good, to where you'll still have some bailout area over there for your shot. If you hit a really bad shot, you're going to be in the bunker, but if you'll still have some bailout area over there, which will really provide a nice different look to a great par 3.
Hole 14, again, just clean up the bunkers, the existing bunkers on the left-hand side. The proposed bunker on the right has been eliminated from the design. And then as we move down the hole, the area around that green will continue to be mowed at the fairway height as you get down around the right-hand side. Green complex stays the same. Just a great hole on Cochise as you look into the mountains in the back.
As we move over towards hole 15, you'll notice one of the biggest moves is moving the tee box that's on the left there over here, right here, as we fly over next to the cart path. This is a safety and access issue that we feel like we solved and really fixed there. That was a big need from feedback. The bunker on the left is really deep, and it's going to get shallowed up and kind of tweaked just a little bit on its size. Mounding on the right will get opened up. This is a really heavy trafficked area, and the mounds really channel the traffic in that area. So we will be softening them down to allow access, formalized green tee as well. Then this bunker up here on the right will slide back just ever so slightly. Right now it's lined up directly across. You don't ever want to do that in golf course architecture, but sliding that back also allows us to get that cart path coming down next to the green, which we no longer will have to park carts down there on the turf. People won't have to walk up and down the hill or drive down the hill and drive up the hill. It'll be a huge improvement for access to this green for everybody, and really be a nice enhancement.
Yeah, Todd, members love to drive down around that green. It's a little shorter walk.
Yes, they do.
Hole 16, really unchanged. The only thing there is we'll clean up those tee boxes and provide that landing area down at the bottom. We'll try to get rid of and soften some of the mounds down on the right, because there's really only one way to get your cart through that area. I noticed when your guys put the stakes up, they got to put them in about the same location.
Yeah, there's only one spot to get traffic out. It's really heavily trafficked. And I think we're also going to try to raise this end up a little bit if we can without blocking the wash.
Just so it's not so highly divoted.
So highly divoted.
Yeah. And then, you've got your same closely mown area in front of the green. Clean up those bunkers on the left. 16's a great hole.
Number 17, par 3. We're going to add a blue tee, which you don't see on here, to separate the tees and to give a lot more teeing space. The red tee is currently shown across the wash right now. We as a club, Chad just wanted to build some flexibility in there to be able to move the tees back and forth if we wanted to. Some of our red tee people think it's too close, so we can have a combo tee on there. We're also going to work on that hillside on the right to kind of open it up so you can see the whole green that you pass by there. And then this bunker on the front right just going to get shortened up a little bit to allow a little bigger expansive area to bounce a ball up onto that green. And then the characteristics of this hole are going to stay, and it's going to stay an incredibly challenging par 3, especially when the pin's where it is on this drawing or to the right. It's a very, very tough hole, and we're not going to mess with that and leave it just like it is.
As we go down 18, again, tee boxes all stay in the same location. We'll fix that drainage area on the left that's consistently wet and soft. And over on the right-hand side, to challenge the longest hitters, the architect has put a bunker in over in that area. As you travel down the fairway, there'll be plenty of room to land your golf ball and plenty of room to egress onto the cart path. Then as we cross the wash into the layup area, for those that don't challenge the green in 2, you can see the tree has remained. The bunker stays in front. The transition area does not move. The bunker on the left is the same. The only thing the architect has done is formalize that bunker in the back to give it a little bit of a back lip If he has to, he might slide the green forward just a hair, but you can see from this animation that it really, really hasn't changed much other than the fact that we've got a defined bunker against those rocks. It gives us the opportunity to understand whether we're in the bunker or not in the bunker. It's got a back lip and flares up, so a ball that rolls up should come down. A ball that's a little too hot may get hung up in the rock area, but that's somebody that's hit a poor shot.
And it also eliminate the ruling issues that you guys always have in tournaments. And then also the bailout area on the right of the green is a new.
Yeah, that's true. That's a beautiful area, by the way, and I think that's a great spot for those that either want to challenge the green in 2 or get stuck behind that tree and they have a room to hit that ball over there, so they can try to get up and down for a par if they're there in 3.
Very good. Well, that's a wonderful recap.
Or no Jim Nance or Trevor Immelman for sure.
I mean,
or David Faraday, right?
Thank you. I mean, he's funny, but
you don't think I'm funny?
Well, you can be a funny guy. This was good stuff, though. Thank you so much for spending the time, and we will continue to answer questions. So, members, please do know our doors are open, our phones are open. Call us, ask us. We're going to set up, I think, again next week out at Sonoran and CG for just some Ask Us sessions. So be on the lookout for those and stop by. If you're hearing things, if you're confused, if there's things that are out there, whatever it is, please do come to us. We're happy to answer those questions and want to give you all the information that you need.
All right.
It's been great. Thanks, Kim. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Todd. Kim.
Everybody just get out and vote. That's what we want to say. Just please get out and vote for this. We want to hear from everybody and need everybody to vote.
Thank you. Thank you, members. We'll see you around the mountain.